scenic and multi-kilometre queues. Russians flee from Russian-occupied Crimea. The Kerch ferry crossing works only for cargo routes by rail. Russian media reports that the Kremlin promises to restore the collapsed pillar weighing 600 tons by November the 1st, and a temporary crossing will be built nearby.
They will build a temporary bridge about 250 meters long nearby, and they will carry out the restoration of the existing bridge from it. This indicates a complex engineering design and engineering solution. Hence, I conclude that the damage is still of a significant nature.
Meanwhile, residents of the temporarily occupied Crimea on their social networks are outraged by the weak protection of the bridge.
I live in Crimea and I will say that the bridge is always well guarded, very strictly. I do not understand how they managed to blow it up for the second time. Well, that means it's not protected.
Russians also doubt the invincibility of the Russian Black Sea Fleet.
The fact that the fleet has no analogues in the world is a myth. Over the past 30 years, we have grown a simulacrum exactly for parades, show-offs and wasting cash.
After the explosion, the carrying capacity of the Kerch bridge in Crimea was halved. Tourists are allowed to enter and leave Crimea through Melitopol and Berdyansk.
Самое интересное, что вырастает нагрузка на логистику.
The most interesting thing is that the load on the logistics of land roads is growing. Equipment is also transported from Crimea to the temporarily occupied territory of the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions by land roads. And they are transported by car, because it is safer. It is possible to protect equipment against the arrival of Ukrainian HIMARS or storm shadows. But imagine that the amount of public transport will double or even triple on this road.
The Kerch bridge is the most important link between Russia and the occupied Ukrainian territories, which the army of the aggressive country uses to transport troops, tanks and other military cargo. Up to 70% of Russian armament passed through this exact route.
The peninsula is used by the Russian invaders as a large logistical hub for the movement of troops and assets within the territory of Ukraine. These logistical difficulties are additional complications for the Russian occupiers and provide potential advantages for the armed forces of Ukraine. Andriy Yusov, representative of the main Directorate of Intelligence of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, in a comment to Suspilne.
Earlier, analysts of the Institute for the Study of War stated that the Crimean bridge was a legitimate target for Ukraine after the annexation of the peninsula by the Russian Federation. However, the Office of the President of Ukraine admits that the attack on the bridge could have been carried out by Russia itself in order to generate a scandalous occasion to divert attention from the Russian President Putin or to aggressively influence the social environment in Russia itself.
One way or another, all this is very practical and very typical for Russia. Primitive technological tasks and primitive technological solutions. And it doesn't matter that it hurts the reputation of the Russian army and the Russian special services. Mikhailo Podolyak, advisor to the head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
As soon as the resources become available, the Ukrainian military will liberate the temporarily occupied Crimea. This was stated by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Valery Zaluzhny, in an interview with the Washington Post. He hinted that even Western officials who are afraid of Putin's reaction would not stop him.
As soon as I have the means, I'll do something. I don't give a damn. Nobody will stop me. Valery Zaluzhny, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, in an interview with the Washington Post.
Ukraine decides for itself how to conduct hostilities. This is how the detonation of the Kerch bridge was commented in the White House. In Crimea itself, which is occupied by Russia, there is an active movement of resistance to the Kremlin regime. So the organization Resistance of the Nation works on the territory of the peninsula. In addition, the activities of the partisan Yellow Ribbon and Atesh movement intensified. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Victoria Smirnova, UATV News.